Coming up on today's show, I've got 5 bold predictions for your Tennessee Titans in 2023. Welcome into Titans Today by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here right before the NBA draft gets underway. The Memphis Grizzlies have been busy, but the Titans are the team we are talking about in the Volunteer State. So let's get started with my first bold prediction, and that is tight end Chig Okonkwo is a Pro Bowler. He is going to have a phenomenal season in my estimations in 2022. I think he is going to really trampoline off what he did last season, which if you just look at the numbers for Chig, 32 grabs, 450 yards, and 3 touchdowns, those don't scream Pro Bowl numbers in year 2. But if you look at the body of work and what he did for weeks 8 through 17, the second half of the season, if you will, 27 grabs, 398 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he got off to a bit of a slow start. The rookie out of Maryland took some time to figure out what the NFL speed was like. But if he can extrapolate those numbers over the course of a 17-game season, I think he's going to be right with these guys, the top 5 tight ends from last year. Probably not in the Travis Kelce sphere of things after just 2 seasons, but TJ Hawkinson, Mark Andrews, Evan Ingram, and a bit of a down-ish season for Greg Kittle despite putting up 11 touchdowns, just 765 yards, which is not really a down season. But anywho, I think he can be one of those Evan Ingram 750-ish yard tight ends, right? If I had to give some way too early stat projections, what about 750 yards and 5 touchdowns for Okonkwo, right? 65 receptions, 95 targets. I think those are very attainable for the former Maryland Terrapin. So with that being said, let's show the guy some love. Spam his jersey number down in the comments section. Let's get some 85s going down there. If he stumbles across this video, I'm sure he'll be happy to see Titans fans are supporting him and believe in him for 2023. Moving on to our second bold prediction, and that is Derrick Henry joins NFL history. I think he's going to make a splash in 2023 and maybe join this a very elite club of players who have won the NFL rushing title 30 years old or older. The last one to do it was Adrian Peterson back in 2016. He was 30 years old and put up 1,400 plus yards. The oldest was Curtis Martin for the Jets in 2004. Did it on a torn MCL, if I remember correctly, 1,600 yards. Now, this is my bold prediction. He will be the 4th player to join this very small and elite crew of players who are 30 years old or over to win the NFL rushing title, because we are talking about King Henry here, right? A guy who in 2021 only played in 8 games and was very close to putting up 1,000 yards still. The 2K Derrick Henry in 2020 is not far removed. A bit of a downfall going on here from a 5.4 yards per carry average in 2020 to a 4.4 yards per carry, a full yard less of a drop-off in 2022. But despite that, the guy still finished second in NFL rushing leaders last season, only behind Josh Jacobs by a little over 100 yards. Derrick Henry should never be ruled out for leading the NFL in yards as long as he's on the field. He just looks like someone who is never going to fall off. The guy is simply built different. He's not one in a generation. He is once in a millennium, right? There are no Derrick Henrys coming around every few years. The guy is just a different breed. So predict it for me. Will Derrick Henry win the rushing title? Can never quite rule him out. He's always going to be top 3, it feels like. Yes or no. Sound off for me down in the comments section. And while you give me hopefully a Y for yes, or maybe even an N for no, if you have not subscribed and you're looking for a reason to do so, we get you guys free content 24/7. The latest news and rumors on your favorite team, an interactive channel where we love to hear back from everyone. That's why we're always getting you guys involved in the comment section, and we are over 7,000 strong, so join a growing Titans YouTube family here by clicking onto that subscribe button. Third bold prediction for this season, the Titans finished top 5 in sacks. So Tennessee was nowhere near the top of the leaderboard in sacks last year. The Eagles ran away with it. No one's ever going to repeat a 70-sack season in my estimations. The Chiefs with 55, the Cowboys with 54, and the Pats with 54 as well. And there's Tennessee with 39, tied for 19th 18th. Now, a big reason why they were bottom half of the league is because they were missing a certain someone, and they are getting that certain someone back in 2023. When you look at Tennessee's front five, it is sneaky good, ladies and gentlemen. Harold Landry, Danico Autry, Teair Tart, I think is one of the more underappreciated defensive tackles, even if he's not a pass rusher. Jeffrey Simmons, and then you add Arden Key from Jacksonville in free agency. Now, Danico Autry is coming off an 8-sack season. You can see the rest of the 2022 stats. Simmons put up 7.5. Teair Tart chimed in with 1.5 sacks. All you're missing is Harold Landry, and just like that, if you're able to get 10-plus sacks from him, you are right there in the neighborhood of 50-ish or so sacks, which gets you in the top 5 club. And might I remind you, you also add an Arden Key, a guy who has 4.5 sacks last year in Jacksonville, and he only started like 3 or 4 games. He's going to be a much bigger role, or have a much bigger role in Nashville. So Arden Key could turn those 4.5 sacks into 6.5 sacks, 7 sacks. And then you go back to Harold Landry, who when he last played put up 12 sacks. So even if he takes a little bit of time to get back to his true form after missing all of last year, if you get 10 sacks from Harold Landry and 6 sacks from Arden Key and an improved season from Danico Autry and Jeffrey Simmons, this team could easily finish in the top 5. Now, before we get on to the rest of my bold predictions, make sure you get yourself the best Titans t-shirt and hat combo deal in all of the land by going to chatsports.com/10combo. That link's in the comments and the description of today's video. My fourth bold prediction is not a homer prediction by any means, actually. You might not like it, but it's how I feel. No breakout season for Treylon Burks. I think that's the easy storyline to run with right now. Former first-round pick entering year 2, automatic breakout. Doesn't always work out that way. I think Mike Vrabel will have this team top 5 in rushing yards and carries in 2023, and that's not going to create a lot of opportunities for Treylon Burks. Not through any fault of his own, I just don't think this is going to be an offense that's designed to force-feed a wide receiver the football. Last year in his rookie season, we didn't see a ton from the former Arkansas Razorback. 33 grabs, 444 yards, 1 score in just 11 games. Surely there will be an improvement in year 2, but I don't know if it's going to be as big as people think. I think Treylon Burks could be a 850-yard receiver for 5 touchdowns in year 2. I don't know if he's going to get over 1,000 yards with the way this offense is designed this year. My fifth and final bold prediction is that Ryan Tannehill, he's going to actually fend off Will Levis. It might be easy to go with Will Levis is going to start week 1. I don't think that's the case. Now, sure, when you look at what Ryan Tannehill did last year, it doesn't create a ton of positivity, and this is the most polarizing player in Tennessee Titans' recent history. And we are all still chasing and trying to get back to what he did in his first 2 seasons in the Music City when he put up 55 touchdowns and only 13 interceptions, but a lack of weapons the last 2 years and just an overall regression across the board has created a steep downfall to 34 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. At the end of the day, I just don't think Will Levis is going to crack this starting lineup very early. If Tannehill gets injured, sure, that changes everything. But I just don't believe in Will Levis coming in and taking Tannehill's job because this team learned how valuable Tannehill was last year when he got hurt. It's the fun and easy thing to do, take the young rookie quarterback over the veteran. But for 2023, I'm actually going to stick by Ryan Tannehill. I think this team is better with him than without him. Plus, maybe you can tell my Tennessee Volunteer is coming through, and I'm just not a huge Will Levis guy. But let me know, who gets more starts in 2023, Ryan Tannehill or Will Levis? Now, we are only a few hours away from the NBA draft getting underway. So if you're looking for a spot to take in the NBA draft, hang out with us here at Chat Sports. Producer Nick Roloff has put countless hours into keeping you guys informed and entertained and knowledgeable when it comes to this year's draft. So make sure you park it right here at Chat Sports for this year's draft. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you taking some time out of your day and hanging out with us. We will sign off and see everyone later.